Hello everyone, this is Tucker Miller here again, and tonight, like I said, for my next movie review, I'm going to be reviewing on Finding Nemo. Came out in 2003. So, plot of this movie, we got these two clownfishes named Marlin, who is this character, voiced by Albert Brooks, and Corlo. And they're both excited that they're going to become parents. But unfortunately, Coral and most of the eggs got eaten by a barracuda, and Marwin noticed there was only one egg left that he named him Nemo. So then later on, Nemo, which is obviously this character right here, is very excited to start school and all that, and then while Nemo was playing with his friends at school, they noticed there was a boat. So they decided to mess around and touch the boat, which they claim is a butt. You know, he touched the butt. You probably know that scene. Then Nemo was about to do what his friends were doing, but Marlin got really mad and at Nemo and all that. Then Nemo decided to go far and touch the boat. And then, as soon as he was going back, he noticed there was a scuba. There, he got kidnapped by by a scuba diver. So, so is so Marlin has to go after them and to see to find his son. Then he Marlin met up with this blue tank named Dory, who was voiced by Ellen DeGeneres, who suffers from short memory loss. And then all that, so Nemo ends up at a dentist's office, and then met up with a few fish, some new fishes, with some fishes, and yeah. And so it's up to Marwin and Dory to find Nemo, and that's basically what the plot is. Now, what do I have to say about Finding Nemo? One of Pixar's best films. This is actually my fifth favorite Pixar film. Like I said, my top five favorite Pixar films are this, Monsters Inc., Wall-E, A Bug's Life, and the original Toy Story. So yeah, I watched this movie so much as a kid, and this is one of the very first movies I ever watched, as well as Toy Story and Monsters Inc. and Toy Story 2. And to name a few. So yeah, I really liked this movie as a kid, and I still love it to this day. Now let's talk about the characters. Marlin is a really good character. Everything about this movie is good. Albert Brooks did a good job as Marlin, and Ellen DeGeneres did a Fantastic job as Dory. So yeah, Mimo is a great character. Crutch, which is the turtle, he's a pretty cool character. So is Squirt, the little turtle, and of course, Minjo is a really good character. Gale which is one of the fish at the dentist's office. He's a pretty good character. Yeah, all the pretty much almost pretty much all the characters are good, are great. And Darla, the girl that likes to kill fishes. Gosh, to be honest, I don't really like Darla. That's why I don't really like Darla. She's kind of is annoying. I can say that. She's kind of terrifying too. So yeah. But other than that, all the characters are good. Are pretty good. Well, almost all the characters. But I don't like, the films. I don't like Darla. So, yeah. Now, is there. Oh, yeah. There's another character. Bruce. Can't forget about him. Bruce is a pretty cool. A pretty good. A great character. The shark. So, yeah. Now, let's talk about some scenes in this movie. I really like the part where Dory was, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. What you do? Yeah, you probably know what I mean. I really like that scene. And what's another good thing I can say about this? What other great scenes of this in this movie there is? Oh, mine. That's a funny scene. I can't forget about that one where all these seagulls, where Maijo was flying Marwin and Dory in his mouth, and the seagulls are chasing after them, and they're like, mine, 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 mine. we all, I can't. Yeah, that was a pretty funny scene. And I also like the scene with the turtles, with Clutch and Yep. So yeah. And I'll be honest, I think the scene where Darla gets defeated was actually pretty funny. Because, she was screaming and all that. Yeah, that's actually, to be honest, that's actually is a funny scene in my honest opinion. I would laugh every time And also another scenes I would laugh every time where the dentist was take was with his like patient, and he was he was doing something to his teeth, and he would and he wouldn't stop screaming. You if you know. And also, which yeah, that was a funny scene. I every time I see it, I laughed because yeah. So yeah. Now what's another scene in this movie? Hmm. That's that's the scenes I could think of. Now let's talk about the film itself. The animation is really good. The story was phenomenal, and everything about this movie was just fantastic. I mean, sure, it may be sad at the beginning, which where Coral all and most of the eggs were eaten by the barracuda. I already explained that at the beginning of the video, but you know, it was kind of sad at the beginning, but just wow. Now the ocean in this movie is really beautiful, just gorgeous. The animation in this movie is gorgeous. I can say that, especially with especially the scenes if you're especially the scenes in the ocean. I was like, wow, look at that ocean. So gorgeous. And of course, everything about this movie is everything about this movie is really good. And they even said I can agree with the critic review that is on the VHS. One of the best films of the year, said Joe Siegel, Good Morning America. Well, this is one of the best films from 2003. I can say that. This movie came out 1 year. This movie this is the very first Pixar movie that came out outside of November, because Toy Story came out in November of 1995, A Bug's Life came out in November of 1998, Toy Story 2 came out in November of 1999, and Monsters Inc. came out in November of 2001. Finding Nemo got was released in May of 2003. So yeah, this movie came out 1 year before I was born. So yeah. What's another good What's another thing I can say about this movie? The If you remember, I actually been on the Finding Nemo ride at Epcot at Walt Disney World. That was pretty fun. And if you probably remember, in my gameplay of Disneyland Adventures, which don't worry, is still gonna happen. Then I'll probably do it hopefully next week or so. We'll see. And I believe around part 7, I did the Finding Nemo submarine Nemo Submarine Voyage. If you see my gameplay, part 7 of Disneyland Adventures. Now, back to this film. And yeah, the prequel, Finding Dory, that came out in 2016. It was a pretty good prequel, but not as good as Finding Nemo. I'll review on Finding Dory at some point. So yeah. Like I said, I'm planning to review every Pixar film leading out to Inside Out 2. So yeah. And I'm reviewing all the films in order when they came out, because I think that's the easy that way. But anyways, yeah, Finding Nemo. Like I said, the animation's good. The story was outstanding. Everything about this movie is just fantastic. And this is one of my childhood movies, like I said. So yeah. I love this movie. Who doesn't? This movie, I believe, got a 99% on Rotten Tomato. Like, wow. So yeah. I do have this movie on DVD, but right here I'm using the VHS. And I did watch this tape last night. Like 24 hours ago. But anyways, that's what I can say about Finding Nemo. Is one of Pixar's greatest films. So yeah, and one of my top favorite Pixar films. So I give Finding Nemo a 10 out of 10. There are absolutely no flaws with this movie. So, yeah. So that is it for my review on Finding Nemo. And stay tuned for my next review, which will be on The Incredibles. So until then, see you in the next video.